We're here because of the what we call the fourth industrial revolution, and more concretely about the changes and the disruptions that the fourth industrial revolution is bringing along, and a very important point, the accelerated pace that this is happening. And this is this I want you to keep in mind. Yeah, this one I call a revolution, which it's a fusion of a lot of technological breakthroughs that are happening all at the same time. Yeah, from as we heard in the introduction, joining the physical and the cyber systems, a lot of IoT, the Internet of Things, connecting devices together, and all of this leading the way to smart factories. This is a client it's an electronics manufacturer, and to put you in context, again, this client had already done quite a lot of work in lean, and they had already had improvements on the order of magnitude of 15%. But they realized, or they thought, that this was not enough. And they wanted to primarily increase in a number, 5 concrete themes. One of them was assets, so basically zero downtime or zero on-schedule maintenance. The other one was obviously labor productivity, quality improvements, and then inventory. They wanted to go to zero inventory, and logistics with basically zero human interface in the logistics, all of it automated. This was basically the targets that they set for themselves. And they went through what we call a DigiMet, which is basically a digital manufacturing excellence transformation, and it was including a lot of these RFID tags, a lot of the technologies that we talked about, in order to monitor live the operations and be able to tackle these KPIs. And what they ended up doing was they ended up developing 17 initiatives. We're not talking about hundreds, we're talking about 17 key initiatives that they split into 3 different time horizons. And the impact is what you see on the right-hand side. So they actually went to 0% on-schedule breakdowns or on-schedule cost. They went to 90% automation of in-plant logistics. So they didn't go to 100%, but it was still a very large number. And they were able to increase, for instance, quality by 15% on the first pass yield rate enhancement, yeah? And obviously decreased quite a lot scrap, and hence also decreased inventory tremendously. A lot of the ideas is that this is, a magic thing, and there's a lot of really good high value use cases that you can implement quickly. It's a no regret move. You get a fast payback, and hence go do it. The reality is that a lot of times there's quite a bit of investments required, and particularly this is important for small and medium-sized enterprises, where obviously you have more limited muscle and more limited resources, and this obviously stops you from going, let me say, the full breadth as you would like to. The second one, if we go into the middle, is that we all believe that, that because the technology is there, all the roadblocks have been removed, so you can go ahead. What we actually find, and this is where the human factor is tremendously important, is most of the problems are not technological problems, but are primarily bottlenecks in terms of talent, in terms of capabilities, and in terms of organization. And this is honestly a part where I almost want all of you to actually look at each other, because when it comes to talent, this is sector agnostic, yeah? This is actually a problem for everybody, and everybody's competing for the same talent pool. So this is limited. This is very limited, and hence it's important to try to harness it, and a major roadblock in order to implement this at scale. And if we go to the top, the first one is that easy to go from a pilot to scale. And the reality of what we're seeing is that most companies are actually getting stuck in what we call the pilot purgatory. A lighthouse is basically a company or a site where all these improvements have been done, and they have been done at scale. Yeah? And the process, the idea with this is actually a very interesting idea. The idea for this is to create a platform to share best practices. So in the end, this is actually about making these experiences available to let me say to the broad. You can see pockets of greatness in different areas. So this is not only represented for an individual sector. So there's good everywhere. Value is key. There's a lot of cool stuff that you can do, a lot of sexy stuff that you can do, but unless there's a real value coming out of it, it's only going to be an interesting project, nothing more. Yeah. The second one is that, again, it requires a clear vision, and it has to be driven from the top. because you don't change the way people change unless this is a top priority and a top mandate that it trickles down and that is role modeled by management. And the third one is that you need to address the capability gap. And the capability gap, meaning both in terms of talent retention, and the new, let me say, capacities or capabilities that the organization need to work. There is a very clear next jump, let me say, in productivity, and we're talking about significant jump in productivity. This is possible, but it requires this value driven from the top. The first one is that being led by value is what is gonna, among other things, help you separate hype from reality. The third one is that you need to put equal focus on people and capabilities as you put on technology. And the fourth is that when you combine all of this, an Ops 4.0 transformation helps in a variety of forms. Helps accelerate, but it also helps increase efficiency, effectiveness, by basically getting it right the first time. It increases tremendously the engagement of the people by seeing that they're part of a real, let me say, a new exciting way of working. It allows for scale, and it allows for predictability, again, to improve the results.